Thank you for choosing CTN. And now it's time with Herman and Sharron.
Hey, isn't that a beautiful picture?
Yes.
The president of this network, Robert DeAndre, is praying with the president of the United States. See the screen over there? It's the president of the United States of America. And today, they had a prayer breakfast in Washington, D.C. Isn't that great? Just to know, in fact, if you turn around, there it is right there on the back screen. Yeah. I have Monty and Kim with us. Right here they are. Aren't they a good-looking couple? Right here they are. Good looking there.
There they are.
Yeah, right here they are. There they are. Okay. I drive my director back there. You can't see him.
Yeah.
I drive him nuts. I don't. To this day, I don't know how he can put up with me, because I do things. I do things that the average. If we weren't just friends, the average guy, if a guy just came in from the outside and became my director, he'd go, "What is that guy doing?"
Oh, they'd still be friends.
Yeah, they probably would.
Weatherall is her last name, by the way.
Yes, Weatherall. And this book, you have to get a copy. You're going to have an opportunity. You'll see it on the screen, the website, and so forth. There it is right there. Thanks,
Yeah.
Dave. To get a copy. You will love it. Absolutely love it. And I have, thank you, Dave. Okay. You want to make sure that you got that website so that you could get your copy of the book. But Monty and Kim, my first question is, you asked Kim to marry you in the most unusual way. Am I pretty close?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just take a look at what you did?
Wow.
Take a look.
I brought you here because I know that we're going to be surrounded by a lot of people the rest of our lives. But I want to show you no matter how many people we're surrounded by, it's all for me and you.
And
That took a
Monty
lot
and
of
Kim are
planning.
still together.
Yeah. That took a lot of planning on your part.
It did. I just wanted a mob scene, because then I guess about 4.5 years ago, the mob.
Yes.
It's called a flash mob, right?
Mobs
Yeah.
were very popular.
Yeah, they take over the mall. Say
Yeah. So I want to do that with my proposal, Kim. So that's
That
how
was
happened.
great.
But your face, that was so telling.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I wasn't expecting it at all. Because I'm thinking, we never come to the mall.
I know, I could tell he was kind of dragging you a little bit.
Yes, right.
We never do that. So.
And this is a food court. We don't go to the food court.
Right.
Yeah.
But he said he wanted to meet some people there. So I was like, okay, I have no idea.
Monty,
who it
you're
is.
smart.
Yeah.
So-
You're smart.
I really wanted to make it special for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for writing this book.
Amen. Thank you.
I mean, you made yourself vulnerable,
Yeah.
which is the hardest thing in the world for all of us. Because you're always going to say, well, okay, what are people going to think? If you have to deal with that, you don't want to do this. You just want to say, the Lord told me to do it, right?
Absolutely.
And I just, let me give you a little background on Monty. Weatherall is a pastor who specializes in helping people recover from emotional trauma. In his new book, he shares his own experience of healing. He knows firsthand how a series of horrific events can leave a person feeling depressed, hopeless, and even at times suicidal. And what a blessing you are to see what God is. I get Dave, keep the cameras far back on. Okay, I'm going to get up. I got to tell him what I'm doing.
Careful.
Yeah. If you can, maybe I'll go up here. Dave, can you stay with me? I saw a video of Monty preaching, and he does this. He does this, and he jumps around, and I'm going, oh my goodness. Do you know you do that?
You know what? They say I have certain moves, but when I'm under the anointing and I'm teaching, I'm not aware of what's going on. I know what I'm saying.
In just looking at him, I thought, they're not going to believe this, so I'm going to have to demonstrate.
Yeah.
But boy, you get into a message.
Yeah.
Goodness.
I'm just passionate about Jesus and what he's done in my life, and I just want to convey that message over to others.
And you do it well.
Thank you.
And literally, that lets the people know that nothing is going to hold you back anymore.
Right. That's it.
Isn't that wonderful?
That's it. For years, I was in the prison of my own
Yeah.
pain, and I just refused. I just want to be free now to deliver a message or interview, however God gives it to me.
Wow. Sexual, emotional, and physical abuse, and you were overeating. So that was like you were addicted to all of this to cover what you had going on inside.
Absolutely. I was, food was my...
Well, how much did you say you've just lost?
I've lost about 80 pounds. Since that video, I committed to working out. I was probably at my heaviest on that video. I used to
But you look good.
Yeah,
I like that
I
red
like
vest.
to dress well, and I wore the 4X vest and extra large suits. But I made it, one of the decisions I made was to just get physically healthy as well. My wife has been so instrumental. She's a counselor in her own right. And one of the things she said to me was, honey, I believe that once you make a decision to get physically healthy, you'll almost be halfway.
So why food? Why was that your go-to for comfort?
Well, that is a great question, and no one has ever asked me that question that way.
Yeah.
Really?
To be transparent,
Yeah.
I'm a pastor, I'm a Christian. I was too old to get addicted to drugs.
Or alcohol.
Or alcohol,
Yeah.
drugs or alcohol,
Yeah.
and that was going to come next. And none of those things were appealing to me, but I love food. And it was a way that, food is not looked upon as addictive as the
Or bad.
or bad,
Yeah.
especially in the Christian community. And so and plus I liked it, so it was just so easy to just give in to that.
Oh, I know. And that's pervasive even without abuse. It's self-control, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kim, that's what you had to teach him, right?
Well, I knew it would be a discipline, and if that discipline from food could carry over to other areas of his life, it would be a blessing for him.
That's true.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Kim.
Yeah. She's awesome.
She is. I can tell. I can tell. And I'm pulling things from his book. So when you get your book and you go to the screen and you get the website, right after the show, we'll give you all kinds of time to write that down. Please do that. Even if you think, I don't think I want the book, please write the website down and get the information, because you're going to say, I'm so glad he told me to do that, because later on you're going to want it. You're going to talk to somebody and you're going to, oh, Herman and Sharron had a guy on. Oh my goodness, what was that book? I don't know what that book is, and you'll have the website right in front of you. So do that so that you can refer to it to help other people, because that's why we're here. That's why we do this, to exalt the person of the Lord Jesus Christ, and to realize that when our lives are in His hands, we can do anything. Nothing will hold us back. And in fact, from the book, remember, don't tell anybody about what we did. The abuse in that cold, dark room of my grandmother's home. You write in the book, and I have to tell you, when I'm reading it, I'm going, and then later on, this just blew me away.
Yeah.
You shared what happened
Yeah.
to a friend.
Yeah.
And then your friend started doing what?
Yeah. Well, so it's funny you segue in greatly. But that was the first time it was a male relative who said, don't tell anybody about what we do. Well, I just knew that even though I couldn't tell my parents, I guess even at 4 or 5 years old, that there was someone I could talk to. I have an uncle that's a year older than I am. So to this day, we're like more like brothers. And so I told him. We devised a plan, since I felt we couldn't tell our parents, to tell another older relative that was older than the both of us.
Great.
And so when we told him, though,
Yeah, but listen to this.
later on that night, when my uncle that's a year older than I am would go to bed, that older male relative would call me into the room and then have me replay everything that the first male relative did to me. And so, and from there, what he would do to me made what the first male relative did to me seem like a day at the park. It would just become, it went from a bad dream to a nightmare. It was just 10 times worse.
And the age you're living through this nightmare, what?
It's between the ages of 4 and 7 years old.
Unbelievable.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
The most formative, right, Kim? The most formative times in a young man's life.
Yeah.
Was that kind of a payback for you that you even told, do you think, with the other gentleman?
No, I don't think it was a payback for me because they weren't related.
Oh, okay.
And so I don't think it was a payback. I just think demonically that was just another door that was open.
Yes.
And so, you know, I think unfortunately I was spiritually marked and so that perverted spirit that was on him, it was very easily then to be identified.
You just opened the door and he had another recipient.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Wow. Yeah.
So, okay, walk with it, because your book covers, you have to get the book, because what we do on these shows is we just kind of bullet points. And you need to have the overall picture, kind of like reading the Word of God. Don't take things out of context, okay? Okay, read the whole Word, and then you get the whole idea. Oh, that's what that meant.
Absolutely.
So this is important also, but from that age, take us on a walk with how you built your life.
Yeah. So from 4 to 7, and again, what made it stop was that the act of abuse was so bad that it injured me physically. And it must have scared the second abuser, because I lay in the bed the whole day and literally couldn't walk. And so from there, that's what caused it to stop at that 7-year-old age. But I grew up from that 7-year-old little boy and into my preteen and teenage years, just an angry boy. And
So you had rage.
I had rage. In fact, one thing I write about in the book is a fight with my 3rd grade best friend, and how I ran and hid, and it was just this rage, and that rage would visit me from time to time, and I was just very angry. And then the anger, and which brought the food addiction in, it turned on myself. Then from the preteens to my teenagers, I just totally hated who I was, my image, what I looked like, how I talked, how I walked. There was nothing about me that I felt worthy of love.
And you see in the book, you didn't even smile.
Oh no, I never smiled. Never smiled. If you look back at the pictures of me prior to, my adult years and my breakthrough years, I'm never smiling. I think you asked me one time, honey, why you always look sad or mad? And it's like, I said, babe, from where I came from, I was so.
I've heard a lot of people say that gone through similar to what you've gone through, that they blame themselves for it. Did you?
On one level, I had to reconcile, the older me had to reconcile, that the 4 to 7-year-old Monty, I say, why didn't you tell anyone? But I was looking at it through the lenses of a man in his 40s and not a scared little boy.
Right.
And once I was able to say, you were afraid, you didn't even realize to the magnitude of what was going on. You just heard the first one said, remember, don't tell anyone about what we do. And the second one said, if you tell anyone, I'm going to kill them, I'm going to kill you. So I was petrified.
Well, that would do it.
Absolutely. But for a lot of
It's always the threat.
There's always the threat.
People are watching, they're going, oh, my goodness, he's telling my story, because they were threatened.
Yeah.
The one thing I try to tell, Herman, the one thing I try to tell little children, because we're on the book tour all over the country, and when I'm in front of audiences, which we really enjoy doing, I try to tell children, that's just a threat.
Yes.
He's not or she's not going to touch or kill your parents. Tell them. Don't be afraid of that.
Yes.
They're going to protect you.
Yes. You say, and we're going to move through the book, chapter 2, you talk about in the area of healing. Faith tip number 1. Never speak of your healing in future tense.
Yeah. When Jesus hung on the cross, this is one of my favorite verses of Scripture. He says, the word says that by his stripes we are healed, not going to be healed. And we only equate that to physical healing. No, he took those lashes, he took those nails for our complete healing. Physical, emotional, mental, spiritual.
Yeah, we've kind of chipped off because everybody wants to be healed.
Yeah.
Covers
That's
everything.
the thing.
Yeah.
But what you just said is the whole gospel.
Yeah. And so we don't have to speak of our healing in terms of I'm going to be healed. No, you are healed now once you accept his act of grace on the cross. And you have to speak in that way.
You say decide that you want to be healed.
Yeah.
For this mind controls every aspect of our life.
You are right in the middle of a series of teaching that I've been for the last 8 weeks.
I wish I could be there.
Overcoming bad thoughts, because the mind is the controller.
Casting down imaginations.
Casting down imaginations. That's my last sermon in the series.
Yes.
Because this mind, it runs wild. And you have to make a decision that I'm going to walk in healing. I made many decisions years ago to continue to be suicidal, to continue to be depressed, to lay in the bed. Those are decisions that I was making.
Yes.
To say, if this hadn't happened to me, I would have been a better preacher, better pastor, a better person, until I made a decision with the help of God, Holy Spirit, and with my wife, to say, I'm not going to continue to give into those impulses to self-destruct. I made a decision to be.
You've seen him walk this journey, and then you've visually experienced changes in him.
Yes.
Because you say, my most rewarding experience in ministry is being transparent.
Yeah.
So you've seen him come from the hidden guy to this is what happened.
So when did he start smiling?
Boy, does he smile. And God has blessed you with such beautiful teeth. Keep smiling, man.
I think as he's really opened up and been more honest with himself and transparent, the smiles have come, and the joy is returning every day with every new experience, and just accepting the fact that God gave us life and to have it more abundantly. And we can't stay in the dark places. We can't stay in bondage based on our past. So we're healed and healthy now.
Oh, boy,
so he's smiling more and more every time we take a vacation, every time we laugh and joke and have fun together. You know, that's the past. That doesn't define who we are now.
Now, you know, as a woman, when you marry someone that's a hurt person, you're taking on.
She married one.
You're taking on a real ministry in a way.
Yes.
You're taking on that other person's hurt too. Do you feel it's hard to deal with that at times, or how do you feel about it? I mean, has it been still a blessing to you?
I think that he is one of the biggest blessings that God has given me. I think the hardest part is to know that someone has suffered so much.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It took me a minute to read the book straight through. I had to take breaks because you can't imagine somebody that you love so much to have to endure so much at such a young age. So it was hard. But on the other side, I think about the greatness. In spite of all, God has allowed him to still be a great person and to thrive and to be a blessing to so many people and to be who he is in my life. So, but the hardest part is to see him, to know that he had to go through so much.
Yeah.
I know that you have to get the book. It's like,
That's because you love him. That's why.
He's got a story in there that you will go, oh my gracious. And that's what you're talking about. You went to a therapist. And what is interesting is Monty, you can tell by the way he dresses. You can always tell a dresser by the way they dress. he was scared to death to go into this therapist.
Absolutely.
And somebody's going to know me. Somebody's going to, oh, hello. And so he walks in and he's checking out, you know, okay, does this guy know what he's doing? Okay, the office looks good, the pillows look good. Okay, everything is in, he's looking, because I do the same thing. It's like, is this up and up? Is this going to be, and then seeing the person, you check him out. Okay, how's he dressed? What is he? You know, is he sloppy or whatever? Because I'm going to get sloppy information. Okay, am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So you sat down with this guy, heart's beating right out of your chest.
Absolutely, everything, because you know, being in the area where we are, located in the St. Louis area, but we live in Illinois.
Yeah.
Well, we're fairly known. We have a fairly popular ministry, and especially with social media. And so I'm like, you know, is this guy going to tell someone, or who's going to recognize me?
Yeah.
And he's kind of known, and he certainly didn't have my trust within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He had to really earn that.
So you finally shared, and you're watching intently.
Yes.
How's he reacting?
Absolutely. You know, because especially for a man to say that he suffered from sexual abuse.
Yeah.
How is this other man who's looking back at me, how's he receiving that? What is he thinking of me?
Yeah.
Is he now judging me, my demeanor?
And is he making up part of it and maybe leaving, maybe it wasn't as bad as what he says?
Yeah.
Because you're sitting there going, does this guy really buy into what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so all of that is now swirling in my mind as I'm talking to him. And I'm really calculating, again, trust was everything. And in fact, he asked me at one session, Monty, do you trust me? I said, the ice is thawing.
I like that. That's a good expression.
Yes.
That is perfect.
Yeah.
You move from that. Is it helping you?
Absolutely, absolutely. The therapy sessions helped me tremendously. You know, I've been pastoring 21 years.
You look like a kid.
Yeah, I started really young, and and so I understand that the church, when we promote counseling, it's almost exclusively with a pastor. Well, many times, you know, we've been trained, even in seminary, to be pastors. We've been trained to teach and to dissect Scripture and to give you wisdom based upon the Word of God, which is the ultimate. But what I learned most from going to this Christian therapist, now he was a pastor, but he began to now zero in on his call, and his call was to help people through therapy.
Yeah.
And what I learned was he was educated and trained and schooled and taught to provide counseling.
Wow.
And it's so much better.
God sent you there.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Amen.
And even now in my congregation, I'm like, okay, this is what I do. Why don't you go see a professional?
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's the wisdom I'm going to give you.
You say not waiting to shame family is a reason for silence in a lot of this kind of thing.
Absolutely.
In other words, if I let this out and become vulnerable like you did in your book, it's going to reflect on my family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I realized, I kind of knew this, but through talking to my therapist, one of the things he talked about was, particularly in the African American community, we have an old adage: what happens in this house stays in this house.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
And he said not only in the African community, he said
Even outside your window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only in the African American community, but he also said in the Asian community that's big too.
Yes.
And so it was, if I come out with this, it's going to bring shame. Some of the family members are going to feel shame and public shame to the family. So a lot of people will not confess what happened to them because of that.
You have in the book, you've got to get the book. Okay, I'm pushing the book because I'm telling you there's so much in there, and we do not have time to cover even a little bit of it. But you talk about in the book, I have met husbands and wives, and this comes back from abuse things, who have become asexual. Explain.
Well, so as I've talked to, and again in my 21 years of pastoring, as I've talked to folks that struggled with sexual abuse, that fell prey to it, I've seen men and women who were hypersexual, meaning they wanted to have a lot of sex because that switch was turned on, that switch of perversion. I've met men and women who felt because it was a same-sex person who abused them, there was a switch turned on for homosexuality in that regard. And then I met people who were asexual, meaning they didn't want sex from a man or a woman. They just chose not to have it. One of the editors who...
And then they got married.
And then they got married. And one of the people who helped edit the book, I had several editors. I wanted to make sure it was right. Yeah. Thanked me for that. Wow. Because they said to me, you helped me understand some of the issues and my husband understand some of the issues that was permeating our marriage that I couldn't explain.
Mm-hmm. They think there's something wrong with them.
Something's wrong with them, but then they said when you explained that asexuality, it ministered to us while I was editing the book.
So while they're man and wife, there's no sex.
There's no sex because I've again met people to turn the lights off, to become one as husband and wife will automatically send them back to those dark rooms of their past, and so. Wow. And so to turn them on will make them feel vulnerable if the husband or wife sees them naked. Wow. And so it's just the sounds, the sense, the smell, that post-traumatic stress of those incidents just causes them to say, you know what, no, I don't want to have anything to do with that.
Monty has put so much in this book, you got to get the copy. There's a website on it. We can have about a minute and a half on TV. That's a long time, don't worry about it. That's your camera right there. Somebody watching, now they understand why they tuned in. Share that.
I believe God has called you to this moment because He wanted you to see this program because it's time now for you to come to the realization that He wants you totally to manifest healing in your life.
Amen.
I was someone who struggled with self-hate, rage, self-destruction. But because of Jesus, I accepted what He did for me on the cross, and I found healing in my life. And He will do the same for you. You have to stretch forth your womb.
Yes.
Stretch it forth.
Yes.
And say, Father, I'm hurting. I want to manifest healing in my life. And I'm telling you, little by little, day by day, I will not deceive you. Some days it wants to come back up, but I remember what Jesus did for me. And that's why I'm able to walk in healing. And I'm so grateful. And if I can do it, so can you.
Wow. Wow.
Amen.
Did you hear that? Coming from someone that has walked your road. And it will come back, as Monty said, but take victory over what you have already experienced in your life. Because Satan will always, you know, he came to me many times and said, you're not saved? Are you kidding me? He will do that. He will deceive you. Jesus Christ is the answer to every need you may have. Bye-bye.